Y'all thought you knew something about the game. Daniel, you thought you guys can make predictions and make understandings and definitively say the outcome. Well, Vegas has some words for you.
Oh, okay.
We have some words for you. Official score predictions of the Georgia-Tennessee game, as well as other locks here on Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On Bulldogs podcast, your team every day. I am Daniel. He is Clint. It is Wednesday, normally not the day that we do these locks, but we're out here early. We're trying to get out here early, get ahead of it. We're trying to get ahead of the game. Locks is my favorite episode of the week to record,
It really
Clint.
is.
It's just
so
a lot
good.
of fun to just talk about football games and what's going to happen and who's going to do what. And
Pontificating, Daniel. We love
yeah.
the pontificate.
So here's the way it works. If you're new to the game, we'll talk about the Georgia-Tennessee game.
LinkedIn, thank you for sponsoring today's episode.
Thanks, LinkedIn. Thanks.
Appreciate
LinkedIn
you.
is such a professional place. They probably give you all the information that you need before you even start, like a business venture. You know, you probably have all that information right in your hand, and then you're able to just make all your decisions accordingly. What we're going to do on this podcast, which is not a business venture, it's just two idiots talking about football.
It's the best. It's the best business venture ever.
Somehow this is a business now. This is the world that we live in. This crap right here, this is a business. We're doing business right now. Some would say that it's mandatory that we continue to do this business. All right, so
Look, if you don't, Daniel, if you don't talk to me, I'll call somebody. You listen to me right now.
oh gosh, you think we could get Brenton Cox on as a guest on
my
the podcast?
gosh.
There's so many things we hadn't even talked about that happened earlier this week. You think we could get Brian Harsin on as a guest?
Could you put on a wig as a cheerleader
You think
for
we could
Boise
get that
State?
gal? You think we could get that gal on as a
No,
guest?
she is in hiding. She's been in
That poor
seclusion.
That's
that
the
poor
real
gal.
victim.
I feel
That's the real victim.
feel so bad for her.
Okay.
I really do.
The way this podcast is going to work, if you're still here, so the 7 of you that have made it this far, people love the banter. Clint is we're going to give the breakdown of the Georgia-Tennessee game in segment 1, and then we're going to talk about other games of note in college football, give you some predictions and locks in segments 2 and 3. So
Yes.
let's jump into the Georgia-Tennessee game.
Okay.
Clint, you tell me what's going to happen, and then you tell me what the score is going to be.
Look, if y'all don't understand the range of score of this game,
There's a lot.
there is a lot that can happen in this game. If you don't think this game could be 18-25 in the fourth quarter,
Tell me the scores that it couldn't be. This is an interesting. Before we get into our predictions, let's talk about scenarios that we don't think could happen.
I'm going to start first. So the line for this game, the over-under is 66.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel? So 33 points apiece going into this game, which should tell you something about what Vegas thinks about this game a lot. Because the average points per game for both these offenses, well north of 33 points per game, Daniel.
Yep.
Well north. So it should alert you that Vegas thinks this game is not going to be a shootout as we classically know it.
Interesting.
Okay? And Vegas has already seen the Bama game. They
Have they
already
seen it, though?
have seen
Have they?
the Bama. They
But
have.
did they watch it?
Oh, Daniel, the lights are still on in Vegas. Okay.
Interesting.
Lights are still on.
Interesting.
So the range of score of this game, what it can't be to me, Daniel, it cannot be 48-49, 50-48, 47-50. That is not a score of this game.
That ain't happening.
That is not happening. Now, this is not going to be Iowa Northwestern. Okay.
It's not going to be 10-6.
Man, going to be 10-6. I think the range, the floor for both these teams is 20.
Yeah.
The ceiling for both these teams, 38, 40.
Interesting.
That,
Okay.
I think that's the ceiling. So I think that's the range we start with. But that's a wide range, Daniel.
There's a lot of numbers that could go in there.
A lot of numbers. So
tell me what we're going to get to, and then give me a quick breakdown of how we're going to get there.
Okay.
In your mind.
I think Georgia is going to score 38 points. 38 points is what Georgia's going to score. And I think Tennessee is going to give the best offensive game Georgia has had all year, which, by the way, is not that many points comparatively to the rest of the nation. I think Tennessee gets to 32 points, Daniel. I think it is 32-38. Georgia wins this game. I think it is going to be close to it. I think it's going to be a one-score affair heading into the fourth. I think Georgia might have to score that touchdown and keep Tennessee blanked in the fourth quarter. To your point on yesterday's podcast, don't keep this game close in the fourth quarter with Georgia. Tennessee, that's on you. You better bury them with 28 in the first half, because if you give us breathing room, ask Oklahoma. Kirby going to suffocate you in that second half. Okay? Ask Florida fourth quarter. Ask the Death March, TM. Stop using Death March without mentioning us.
Just ask you boys. We'll give you permission. We'll give you permission.
We will give you permission.
We'll give you the chance to do it. Just, I mean, as a courtesy.
As a courtesy. So I think 38-32, Georgia wins, which does not cover the spread, so I don't have a lock with the 8.5 that this is.
You going to lock the under? Because that's right on that under. That's
really tempted.
It's just a slight under.
In my mind, it's a heavy lean for the under, because the under has more of a chance to hit than the over in this game. What say you, Daniel?
I think if you're going to bet the under, just as a betting advice, wait. Because Johnny Public coming in on that over. Okay? He coming in on that over. If you want to bet the over, you better jump on it now.
Get it now.
I think that both of these teams are going to score a little more than you think that they are. I think that the final score of the game is going to be 45-35, Georgia.
Okay.
So here's how I anticipate that score coming about. Well, not necessarily how I anticipate coming about, but something that a scenario I've been ruminating on for the last couple days that I would share with you. You know, there's this idea about Tennessee's offense, again, explosive, dynamic, and they are those things. Okay.
True points.
Elite, absolute juggernaut of an offense. But what you notice when you watch Tennessee's offense, unless you're a Tennessee fan, what you notice is that there's also a lot of possessions that Tennessee has where the outcome of the possession is they don't score any points.
A punt or a fourth down turnover.
Or a turnover of some kind, on downs or other, or a punt. That's the outcome of quite a few Tennessee drives. Tennessee also will go 3 and out on you. They'll go even worse than that. They'll come out there and just not really do anything.
Now, Daniel, I'm confused. Kirby's smart when a team does that often and he gives them the ball back. What does he like to do?
Well, it's interesting to note that everybody likes to talk about how many chances Tennessee gets. They get a lot of chances. They run all these plays.
I've heard in the red zone they're like 52 successful tries out of 48 attempts. Daniel, they have more successful tries than they do attempts, I've heard in the red zone.
That makes sense because they get so many chances.
So many chances.
The numbers work if you just squint and wear orange. Then it makes sense to you. The other team also gets that many chances in the games.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's why Anthony Richardson put up 400 on you. And that's why Alabama scored 49 against you and had a game-winning field goal that they were kicking to win the game against you. Win the game. Tennessee is built to beat schools like Georgia and Alabama. This is what we've heard. I don't understand what that means. Does it mean you're built to have players miss field goals? Because that's the only reason you beat Alabama. Because a dude missed a field goal. You were built for that? Is that what happened?
Apparently.
That's what Josh Heupel did. Let me talk to you about the Alabama game a bit.
Okay. Please do.
Tennessee jumped all over Alabama in that game. I don't know if you remember it.
I remember.
But it was 28-10 at 1 minute into the second quarter. In the first 16 minutes of that game, Tennessee scored 28 points. The score was 28-10.
Last year when we went to Tennessee, they jumped out to a 14-0 lead within the first 6 minutes, Daniel.
That's similar to what happened here. And then in this Alabama game, Alabama went on a 39-14 run after that before Tennessee scored its last touchdown. 39-14 after Tennessee jumped out to the big lead. Alabama took the lead in that game, if you recall.
They did. Oh, I recall.
In the first 16 minutes of the Alabama game, Tennessee scored 28 points. In the next 30 minutes of game time, that is 1/2 of the game time.
2 quarters
in a
Tennessee
football game.
Just so you know.
In the next 30 minutes of game time, Tennessee scored 6 points. Clint.
That's a lie. You are lying to me. Their offense can't be stopped.
It was stopped over and over and over and over and over again.
Nope.
In the Alabama game.
Disbelieve you.
Tennessee fans, I am sorry to inform you. Georgia's defense better than Alabama's defense.
Not by a little.
Georgia's
by
defense
a country mile.
That is not a hot take.
No.
That is objective truth. Georgia's defense better than Alabama's defense. They are not going to shut this Tennessee offense down.
We never said that.
But they will shut them down in sections of the game. Tennessee will go on a burst in this game.
Yes.
But Tennessee will let you back in this game no matter how. You said they better put 28 in the first half. Not enough. Tennessee never has a lead that's safe in this game.
No.
That's the scenario that won't happen in this game. Tennessee will not blow out Georgia.
No,
Tennessee will not win this game by 17 points. Tennessee will not run away with this victory. They may win the game, but it'll be close. Georgia may win the game, but it'll be close. And then there's a 1% chance that I think that Georgia absolutely runs away and blows the doors.
So you got this game well within that 8.5, Daniel.
I'm locking up 8.5. Give me the 8.5. If you think that Johnny Public can bet this line down, you can wait.
That's what I'm banking on.
Let me caution you. Vegas does not care what Snerlin from Tennessee bets on his DraftKings app.
No,
Vegas does not care about that at all. Vegas has bettors that they respect. And when those bettors place large wagers on teams, that's when the line moves.
When bagmen show up at the airport.
And Clint, guess who those bettors are going to bet on in this game?
I'm telling you right now, that 8.5.
Who the Sharps are betting. Doesn't mean Georgia's guaranteed to win, Tennessee.
No.
But the Sharps are betting on Georgia in this game. So I think if the line's going to move, it's actually going to move the other way. I think the public is going to funnel money at Tennessee. And so I think if you want 8.5, you better just go ahead and jump on it.
We're going to come back after this and let you know more about other games. But first, I want to let you know about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has this incredible graphic type situation, Daniel, that is just the best in the entire
they're out there.
world.
They're here. It pops up right on the screen.
Right there, because
Populates.
I don't know if you've heard about them. Tennessee fan. I don't know if you're searching for jobs.
Your neighbor, the Tennessee fan, he out there on LinkedIn. He working.
Only one of them out there. Now, granted, he don't live in Tennessee no more. He just went there for the education, then he got out of Dodge, Daniel.
Well, have you been to Knoxville?
I have, and that was the one time.
Circle the wagons. We moving on out.
LinkedIn is not that type of place. LinkedIn has everything that you need. They're a fantastic company. And these days, every new potential hire feels like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your jobs for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, Clint, let's give out some. We've been talking about this Tennessee game enough. We're going to talk about it again tomorrow.
We're coming back tomorrow.
Let's talk about the rest of the college football slate.
Okay.
Give us a lock for this week. Give us a bet that you really like.
Okay. Look, there are some funky lines this week. There are some numbers I did not appreciate. I didn't like a lot of them, but I found I hunted around. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you one that I love, and this is a team that if you don't think they have respect for themselves and they're in the SEC, this Kentucky Wildcat team ain't going to take no more disrespect. They got the abject wheels drummed off of them by the aforementioned Tennessee.
Kudos to you, Tennessee, by the way. We both got on here and said Kentucky was going to cover, and Tennessee absolutely decimated the Kentucky Wildcats.
Wasn't even a close contest.
At home. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Easy.
You go ahead.
Easy.
Keep talking.
Daniel, that means nothing. Good teams overcome such things. Daniel, how dare you?
At Pitt.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Kentucky is only giving 1.5 points to Mizzou. Mizzou is not even close. This has everything to do with Missouri not being Missouri. Wow, that's a new one.
No, you go for it.
Put that in the lexicon. Put that in the lexicon. Missouri is not even in the same stratosphere as Tennessee or any other SEC team. I know they beat South Carolina. South Carolina has a lot of hiccups in their program. Kentucky is a good program. They are fundamental.
Yeah.
They will not be beat 2 weeks in a row like that. You better believe Stoops is coming back with a vengeance in this game.
Double this up. Make this a double for me. This is an all-time stock is at an all-time low, stock is at an all-time high situation. Missouri is coming off their best win of the season, a win against a top 25 team,
quote unquote,
that they were underdogs against. And Kentucky is coming off probably the most embarrassing loss, not the worst loss, but the most embarrassing loss in the last 5 years as a football program. And so, yeah, you're getting them at an all-time low. So take Kentucky, lay the points. I love that. I'm going to go to an Old Faithful. Clint.
Is this, Daniel, if you say the word Virginia out of your mouth right now.
Fade Virginia. North Carolina plays Virginia this week. They are laying 7.5. Okay. Who's the best quarterback in the ACC, Clint?
Is Danny Cannell still up there slinging the rock?
No. It's this May kid at North Carolina. That's the best quarterback in the ACC.
Which is quite embarrassing, but you're correct.
That kid's carrying the team over there. He is single-handedly willing them to victory. Virginia, I'm going to sneeze.
He's going to do it, but look, Virginia's bad.
Virginia is bad. They fought valiantly and lost in overtime to Miami last week, which I still got a push on because I had Miami minus 2.
That's so embarrassing.
Miami minus 2. I still got a push. I was sweating that push hard. No, I'm going to give you North Carolina minus 7.5. It's on the road, but nobody's showing up to that game in Charlottesville.
No.
It's not a home field advantage. North Carolina has everything to play for. This is the team that's going to play Clemson in the ACC championship game. They have to win the rest of their games so they can make it to the ACC title game, and they still have an outside shot, they think, at the playoff if they win that game. North Carolina has everything to play for. They're going to blow out Virginia. Lay the points.
Don't hate it at all. I'm going to go to another team that near and dear to our hearts because they are a little brother, and we stomp them all over the yard. Florida is playing Texas A&M. Texas A&M, bad team. Daniel, real bad.
You want to talk about all-time issues bowl, like the issues bowl. This is
like
Brenton Cox's former team versus Jimbo Fisher's current team. That's how many issues these teams have.
And maybe I picked this game just to talk about old Sunbelt champ kicking his best defensive player off the team. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it was because I get to talk about how embarrassing it is to be a Florida fan. Or maybe it's because Texas A&M has found a quarterback, Daniel.
Uh-oh.
That Wagman kid, he can sling it. Now, Florida has just lost their best defensive pass rusher.
Okay. Say more.
And Texas A&M got a good running back. And if you can go ahead and run on Florida's defense and now you can pass on them, and I know Texas A&M is going – they're at home. Florida has to travel after just losing the cocktail party in which they thought they had a chance, and I'm only laying 3 points. Daniel, give me A&M -3.
I don't want to bet this game because I don't want to have to watch this game. I don't want to have
I'm
anything
not
to
watching
do
this
with
game.
this game.
I'm not watching this game.
I'll tell you another game I probably won't watch, but I am definitely going to bet. It's Air Force Army.
There
it's
it
a
is.
service academy game, Clint. What am I going to do when these service academies square off against each other? What do you think I'm going to bet here?
Oh, it used to be go Army all day long.
It used to be that. But I'll tell you what it's always been. When Army's good, when Army's bad, when Navy's good, when Navy's bad, when Air Force is good, when Air Force is bad. What do these teams like to do, Clint? Do they like to throw that ball all over the yard?
What is that over under, Daniel?
It's at 39.5, which is under 40, but you're still going to just go right under it. You're still going to slide right under it. This game is 17-14 as long as the day is long, Clint. You are going to cash this over under easily at 39.5. Give me the under 39.5. Army, Air Force. And don't even sweat it. It won't even be a sweat.
Don't sweat it. Give me one more before we go to break. Baylor Bears have not had the season that they wanted to have, Daniel. Okay. They are down.
They're down.
Bad.
They are
Oklahoma
out. Yep.
They are out.
Yep.
Oklahoma also out bad. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to tell me a team that is going to go ahead and fight for their coach, it's not Oklahoma, because Oklahoma has no soul left. It's Dave Aranda's boys at Baylor Bear.
Interesting.
And they are catching 3.5. That hook tells me something. I'm taking Baylor. I'm not taking Oklahoma. I can't trust them. They got no offense. Baylor has an offense, and Baylor plays D, and they play these Oklahoma schools, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. They play them tough and close. Baylor makes good teams and good games competitive. And I'm catching 3 in the hook. It gives me a lot of confidence. It's on the road, but I don't think that matters much up there in North Texas. Oklahoma line, I think it's going to be fine. Give me Baylor +3.5.
Fascinating. All right, we got more locks to give out when we come back right after this.
But first, I want to talk about BetOnline. BetOnline is the official sportsbook expert of everything that you need, including all these bets and all these over-unders. All of them.
They got all the lines.
We are telling you right now. That's where Daniel and I are on our phones looking at these bets because BetOnline is safe. It's reliable. It's the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs as well as Locked On Podcast, your team everywhere. Odds, news, scores, everything that you need to make informed decisions. They're fast. They're reliable. They get you the money out that you need as well as keep you live on all the bets that you've made. BetOnline, your official sports book experts.
All right, Clint, how many more you got left?
I got 1, 2 more with a possible 1 log to throw on there.
Give us another one. I got 1, maybe 2 left.
I don't understand this line. This line makes no sense to me. And sometimes you got to go contrarian with this, but not this year because the balloon has been deflated of Kansas Jayhawks. They got no more soul left.
I was just looking at this game.
Oklahoma State is given 2 to Kansas. They're given 2 to Kansas, which is less than a field goal. And Oklahoma State got the absolute smack kicked out of them last week.
Kansas State went in there.
Oh, my gosh.
The Purple Cats did something inhumane to Oklahoma State.
It was embarrassing. I saw this first quarter of this game, and I refused to turn it on after that because I felt bad for the Pokes. Like
I did not see that. I bet Kansas State and was happy to cash. I bet them -1.5. They won by 49.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
It's not great.
I think a little bit of what we talked at the beginning of this segment, Daniel, with Kentucky, I think comes into play with Oklahoma State. I think they're a well-coached team. I think they got some players. I think they got some pride. Kansas doesn't have the quarterback, doesn't have the players. I think the balloon is deflated, and 2 points is not enough. I think they win easily and handily going to Kansas. Give me the Pokes laying 2.
It's just this last one. I think it's the last one for me. It's a simple "this can't last forever" type of bet. You understand? Like, it just can't last forever. I don't know that they're going to lose the game.
Okay.
But Texas Tech is catching 9.5 at TCU.
Yep.
And let me just say it again. It can't last forever, TCU. It just can't. They covered that game last week, 7.5, because of a Hail Mary offsides 4th down conversion. And I bet them 7.5, and I cashed.
I took that cash.
And I cashed.
Yes, sir.
I'm not mad about it. But they didn't cover that game.
No.
They're not going to cover this game. Max Duggan, listen, Max Duggan is a good quarterback.
He is.
He's a pretty dang good quarterback.
He is.
But TCU is so inconsistent. Their defense is so hot and cold. Even their offense, much like another offense that I mentioned earlier on this podcast, sometimes looks electric and elite, and sometimes looks like they can't get a
Well, Daniel is gone. He's out of here, but I'm still here. If you had some interruptions to that, we apologize. He's going to go ahead and let you know that Texas Tech is going to cover that 9.5. I am also going to tell you that was the other thing that I was going to jump on and say. Texas Tech, I'm doubling that up. That was the other log on the fire because TCU cannot keep this up. Give me Texas Tech plus 9.5. And lastly, for my last of this, the UTSA Roadrunners are a good squad. UAB, not a good squad. UAB is a bad squad. They're at home. UTSA Roadrunners are giving 1 point, just 1 point. This is basically a coin toss, and I think the Roadrunners are a better team. So go ahead and give me Roadrunners given the point at UAB. And that finishes up, that wraps it up here at Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the Locked On Tennessee. We're gonna see if we can get them out here. We've told them to be here. Let's see if they're here. We've mandated it. We've demanded it. That is your team every single day. Daniel's letting us know that his computer died on him, so he's going to be back. He's going to be back tomorrow. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day. See you guys then.